Oh, this is Team Strawwell here, and
Hi,
we're doing a
obviously.
video about the new
The rule
rule
change, the new
change.
non-master rule 5.
Yeah, now Master Rule 5. It's
You can start.
going back to Master Rule 3 and plus new things.
Plus links and nerf pendulums.
Yeah.
The first thing we wanted to talk about was how this was just like an insane boost to a lot of decks that didn't get a link monster in Master Rule 4. A lot of decks, like obviously any hyper
Black
synchro,
Wings.
Black Wings, Karakiris, DDDs
You're
because their link monsters were terrible.
And Shadal's got better because the Link Monster was terrible, and now you can use it.
VA, you can just make triple Dante for no reason.
Yeah, burning this, trains, so we can have 2 XYZs on the board if able.
It makes just a lot of older strategies really viable, and it means you don't have to waste extra deck spots on link monsters. I know a lot of synchro decks would struggle with that, like for example TG. They were only playing the 2 needle fiber and 1 of their own link, which it was really good. But now they're not required to if they don't need to. They still will,
But it means that, like, hands where it's necessary, you can do it, but if not, you just go into full combo. And you don't have to waste materials on something you didn't want.
Yeah, so and bringing back old nightmares too, in the case.
Oh, same by me. It's great just because it means for like everybody that was like, oh, I hate links because it ruined my deck and I couldn't play my deck and yada yada yada. Now you don't have an excuse.
Yeah,
Because any deck can be played the way it was pre-Master Rule 4 except Pendulum unless something bandless happened. But you also have the option to use links if you want, if they benefit you.
and it is really nice because Pendulum was it isn't the worst deck at the moment, but with Master Rule 3 style play, it is a really powerful deck.
Yeah, because it meant, like, especially if you think of something relative to the deck now, if it just made a play, then due to its combo and whatever, even if you broke its board, as long as they had skills, next turn they just pendulum summon as many back as they can, and then they just immediately just, oh look, I have my board back, and you spent all your resources outing what I did, and here it is again.
Yeah, and I think the game will grow more because all the old players who did quit, they're coming back into the game with their old deck.
It makes it a lot more like Master 3, which is kind of what people are accustomed to. But at the same time, it doesn't really change. It doesn't change older decks too much, but it does make new decks that did get a buff in Master Rule 4, like Raid Raptors per se. Spiral was a really good one with double Helix.
It just basically just lets everybody play the decks the way they want. If you liked Master Rule 4 and it benefited your deck, go for it. If it just killed your deck, well, okay, just ignore it then.
I think the only thing that it is potentially worse for is it does make like
Some just
obscene combos, stuff like Warlord Savage Dragon, Notoria Exterio, things like that a lot more.
it'll make, if they're not gutted by the ban list by the time the changes happen, it'll make stuff like Thunder Dragon, Gem Knight FTK really good. Among other decks.
Yep.
Like they already were pretty solid in Master Rule 4, now just no longer dealing with that.
You guys want to talk about some decks that are like buffed by it?
I mean,
Shadal,
yeah, pretty much all of our favorite decks.
DVDs.
I'm hyped for Black Wing.
Fluffles, I cannot wait for Fluffles to come back.
Yo, yes, Fluffles
playing
is going to be
Fluffles.
really good for Fluffle.
Yeah, you get Fluffles plus you get red reboots now.
Yeah, Red Reboot, and I'm like,
Then
I'm
that
on
makes sense.
DKing. Like, I didn't play Fluffles at all in Master Rule 4 because,
Yeah,
I did like people builds. Now I can play Fluffles to my
now you
heart's
can just play it as much
content.
as you want, and it's fine.
It helps like a lot of synchro based decks, which is what I really like. Things like your Hyper Quasar decks, your TGs. I know there's the new Red Dragon Archfiend style decks that are
Yes.
going to be really nice.
Oh, the new Red Dragon
Yeah, you
Archfiend.
can bring out easier.
It's not that amazing, but I'm still really hyped for it.
If you're
Just because I love playing Red Nova back in the day.
If you're playing the Sideblocker Assault mode, it opens up a few options, I believe.
So that what was that? That deck, what was it called? Rockets. Rockets got better in some sense.
Ironically, being a deck that has a bunch of links and is from the Brains era, but still helps.
Yeah, so that deck can
Rockets. Oh yeah, plus Portal End has an effect tied to the Rockets.
to
Yeah, that one's
rockets,
nice.
so it helps too.
I know for Gravekeepers, which is a deck I played a little bit of, it doesn't change too terribly much, but it is nice not having to worry about arrows if you do get the insanely good hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some decks will still play like some nightmares because it just helps you get rid of.
Yeah, stuff like
some
Nightmares, Boral Sword. We'll still see play in anything that can reasonably make them.
Saruja got
Sure.
a little bit better in some sense.
I mean, yeah, like... it means for decks, if we get a deck like Nationals format Danger Thunder that played like Saryuga and just a whole bunch of all the other summoning mechanics,
Yeah.
they just don't even need the Saryuga to survive.
Stand by.
So that makes this game more unique.
Yeah.
And the dual rush is
Oh, it makes dead giveaway to what I have set on my field. It makes Super Poly a lot better.
yeah,
Yeah.
super poly.
That it does.
So
Although Super Poly is still an obscene card. Even
yeah, I
without
can't
the
wait to
rule
use
change.
super poly
Very
in
true.
Shadows. Like, oh, you have an app shoot for me? Thank you.
The only
It's,
worry you could have is some of the like degenerate hand loop, that kind of weird
Yeah,
stuff.
Chishula.
yeah,
But it
Chishula's
helps
one
now
of
that
the-
we have stuff like Nibiru, all the just
No
a hand
Momo.
trap for basically any deck.
It makes Dimensional Prison by itself a really good. Not the
D-barrier.
Dimensional Barrier, a
'Cause it
good
means-
standalone card now.
Yeah. Although I doubt it'll. I don't know if it'll see a lot. I don't know why I'm having you shuffle that because I'm just gonna Decatron effect. Because it's weird because it depends on the decks that are in the meta, but also at the same time for some of them. For some decks, I mean, you just do what a lot of people have been doing the last few months, and like some decks, like Salad or whatever, you just play Sanctum into Scythe,
Yeah.
and that still just locks out
Yeah.
The
any
extra
summoning.
in general.
But still, it
Good.
just has more application because of links. I think it just entirely depends on the format and what the top decks are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would prefer the other method just because Sanctum can still get hashed.
It's true.
And Sanctum is a 4-card combo, whereas D-Barrier, you have a chance to draw your break
Yeah.
off of it, and it fits easier as 3 cards opposed to 4.
Yeah, deep
Yeah,
But that's
although-
a different compensation.
I mean, it just really depends on the scenario, but yeah.
Yeah, deep barrier may or may not come back. Oh, most likely it will because, stop your opponent.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's just a good change because even though it might make some decks dumb, in general, it's just gonna make. They're very. I mean, who's gonna be unhappy about it? People who just hate any type of extra deck summoning. Okay, go
Yeah.
back and play like Goat, or I guess Pendulum players because they're mad that they didn't get the change too. Yeah,
I
well,
mean, for
that's fine.
Pendulum, it's kind of alright if you're summoning one of your other...
Yeah, I mean, it still
cards.
buffs Pendulum. It means you don't have to worry about link zones for like
Yeah, you
overlay.
can-
or,
Burning Abyss was a deck we talked about a little bit that'd be nice to just touch base on, just that it's nice that they can summon multiple Dante without having to go into Cherubini first.
yes,
Yeah.
that's really nice. Battle. Sweet.
This card vanishes at the end of battle phase.
Yeah, if it attacked, yeah.
I know,
Does it, like, does it do anything? Main 2.
I know that there's some, like, there's quite a few decks that it
Right.
doesn't
Yeah.
impact, but,
Yeah, that's a dragon.
um,
Oh, yeah, he's right. It is a dragon, isn't it?
Oh
I
yeah.
think
Do you
have
have
to
a target?
No, I don't.
So you have to wait till it dies and then super.
Yeah, so bye.
Okay. Then end of battle. World.
Vanishes.
Yes. Pass.
Bro,
So that's 1k.
Yeah.
I know like there's some decks out there that aren't heavily impacted, but I think it's just very good that they've made it. It's like a nice equal ground for. You don't have to play links, so if you don't have one, your deck's not at a detriment, as opposed to other decks like decks that do have links can still play them freely.
Yeah, for a lot of old decks, it makes links, like when, say, XZ came out, where you don't have to play them if you want. You could play none, but if you can play them, they just benefit you. Like at the end of Synchro era, if you wanted to play XZs, okay, cool. If not, your deck plays the exact same as it did before.
I think all we're gonna see though is it's gonna be a big. I think we might start seeing a sharp drop off of links being printed. It'll be similar in the main sets to like the Arc V sets, where we
Yeah.
weren't seeing a terrible amount of pendulums each set, but we were seeing a good enough diversity between Synchro, Fusion, XYZ, and occasionally even a Ritual.
Yeah, it'll probably just lead to printing of like every mechanic more,
Which with the
which I
again,
definitely
I
appreciate.
really like Rituals, but with the new Herald card that was just announced and the Megalith archetype, I just am really looking forward to more Rituals. Solitaire. Yeah.
okay. But there always downside of certain cards. Like
I mean, it's weird. Like technically, Galatea and Longirsu are both worse because Longirsu now you don't have to put stuff in the zones it points to because of the link arrows. So it just means that the Longirsu effect to send
yeah,
isn't gonna go off as much if they're not playing links. And for Gala, it just means putting her in a zone where if you don't have a monster pointing to her, your opponent just isn't gonna summon to one of her zones.
Yeah.
Unless they either are putting the entire board down or they're just dumb.
Yeah. And the Cyber Dragon
Zombie effect.
Mega Feet is
Yeah,
Not
that one's
worse.
worse because now
Because-
nobody's gonna put stuff in the extra monster zone if it's not a link.
yeah.
Gozuki and Kozuki effect.
So
Yeah.
see. So what other cards are
There are
worse?
a few other. I know we talked about Relinquished isn't getting terribly buffed and it's not getting nerfed because Anima, don't know why I can never pronounce that card. Anima that points up now that isn't that huge of a detriment because you can still summon your Thousand Eyes Restrict into your Millennium Eyes to your main monster zone.
Yep.
But it does make Anima a little bit. It keeps it pretty much the same. You're mainly going to be stealing kaijus or whatnot with it.
One thing it does definitely make worse is Bomber Dragon. Because
Oh.
in the past, if you were gonna combo, you'd make a link. Then if you try to put anything under your link, even if it wasn't Bomber Dragon, it'd just get blown up. Whereas now, as long as you don't put it under Bomber Dragon's arrow, unless you're playing a link-focused strategy, it's just not a problem.
One thing
Bomber.
I thought of.
Oh.
Sorry, I don't mean to. This is completely changing the subject. It makes ABCs a lot better.
Yeah,
Because you can
that
summon
it
your
does.
busters to the main monster
Okay,
zone.
you beat it.
Yes, it does.
But I think it'll make Bomber a little bit more stronger because it does in the main monster zone. So if your opponent attempt to combo off,
But the big thing was Bomber would do any link monster.
Yeah, so it meant if, like, say playing Salad, I made a Bane Links, I couldn't put anything under it, it would just die. Whereas now, even if I make a link, I just don't have to summon anything to either whatever of the link arrows are down.
yeah. So I make it where you can have monsters while Bomber is on the field. So I make it. Yeah. But like if your opponent have like synchro monsters like can't protect, you just bull wipe them when they try to combo off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's worse for, say, Orcus, who just
Yeah.
under Babel summon something, just like skeleton effect, harp effect, gizmek, whatever. It doesn't make them any worse.
Uni effect from hand on itself, and then Balladrock on the Nunsu.
Sure.
Without having played the metagame, I know like a lot of non-meta decks, like Paleo Frogs. I know they are kind of meta. It stays mainly the same, but it does mean that like there are some instances where Double Toad is better than Starboy Toad.
Almost always, just because it's another negate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are
decks similar to that, it just is a buff, period.
I mean, if we get Zoo back like the OCG did, it's a buff. We can go.
Yeah,
if they're slightly better because you don't have to play the Hammer Kong combo.
Yeah, you don't have to play Kong nonsense.
No, it's just for a lot of random decks that like I don't have time to go back and look into. They just get really
obviously.
They get really cool buffs from it.
Yeah. In general, it's nice. It just allows for more play styles for decks that were just crippled by a master roll that just suffocated them out of being able to be played.
Yeah.
Whereas it doesn't hurt it doesn't make any decks unplayable in itself.
Yeah, it does.
Sure, it hurts a few cards here and there, but overall, it's just a buff to stuff.
Yeah, Master Rule 4 was like the first one like you had to play this mechanic.
Yeah, every other one you can just ignore if you really want. I mean, your opponent might play it, but you did not have to include those cards in your deck. It was great.
Now people can slowly stop playing Shoot Draco, guys.
All our prayers have been answered. No more Draco.
Is it you don't need to this one tuber say like Shoot Draco was one of the decks you can just start in playing, but you don't need to worry about links and But now slowly not playing.
Do it.
I mean,
I do have one left.
Right?
Yeah, okay, I do.
I mean, there are a lot of just
yes. There were just a lot of decks that were hurt for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, Master Rule 4, it was like hugely talked about when it came out, and
see if
not gonna. You can't act like Master Rule 4 was that great when it first started.
No, they handled it really poorly.
This is a really good like balancing out of it. I just kind of, if you ask me, I think one of the biggest things one of the biggest detriments were when Master Rule 4 came out, they started printing a lot of stuff like Thunder Dragon Fusions, Dingirsu, I think that's the XYZ, Warlord Savage, and the Guard Dragon cards, which were all just unnecessarily good.
Yeah.
But just because they were under Master Rule 4, they weren't considered broken.
Yeah, at least there was some kind of restriction. The other thing I'm really glad is that they didn't feel the need to, for some stupid reason, make a new Master Rule to completely change the game again.
Yeah, I see a meme though. Like,
I mean, I was hoping they would just say, "Oh, there's not going to be a new Master Rule this year. Here's the anime." But this is even better.
As far as like new card type goes, I think we're pretty set. I don't think another new card type would really.
Swing.
Like
effect, swing game.
That's it. Because there's a lot of really pretty good there's a lot of pretty good archetypes and ways to change the summoning mechanics that getting a new one would just be a waste of time.
Yeah. Especially because I haven't heard any ideas. Now, Konami, to their credit, is very creative. I mean, who would have guessed Master Rule 4? But I haven't heard any ideas for a new one that would be interesting. Like, we get skill cards like in Duel Links and Speed Duels.
Oh,
yay! I don't care.
There was a meme that like, we have character cards to use. And
I don't want that kind of stuff. I'm really glad we didn't get that kind of stuff.
I think it's somewhat nice, the rush duels, but I don't feel like a change to the main core game would really have been beneficial in any way.
No.
The only thing I hope is like the rush duel. You can use those cards in the main game.
I don't.
Because
Maybe.
like it's like they can have the same size. It's just like we finally what people are asking was full art cards, and that's what
They're
the game is. We get
closer. I mean,
yeah closer,
Yeah.
yeah. But like if you can use that in the main game, it's just like hollow out your deck a different way or using that art because it looks
I mean, I would kind of like it if it was just it's a standalone spin-off kind of game.
Yeah, we're just
'Cause
has
part
nothing
of
to
the-
do with the TCG.
Part of the issue I had with speed duels was that they were making these cards that had already been printed years ago for you to play with.
Oh, guess what? You want to play speed duels? You have to buy cards you own from 10, 15 years ago.
yeah.
And
But
some of them were just stupidly expensive.
but
like
some people say
Cerebro.
Speed Duels was just a test to
Yeah.
this one.
Like, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but I wasn't gonna spend any amount of money on it.
I don't.
That was at least somewhat for Duel Links that made it more interesting was just the way the game evolved for Duel Links was completely different. Whereas Speed Duels, it felt a lot more just like
I mean,
early 2000s
out,
duels without all the like Pot of Greed, Delinquent Duel, all this just stupid broken
I mean,
band stuff.
outside of Duel Links, just talking about the TCG speed duels, I think they took a nice approach. I think my completely night and day topics, but Duel Links, my biggest issue was that they switched heavily partway through to being a completely free to play game to a pay to win kind style
Duel
game.
Links, Duel Links is so annoying just because of all the structures that they started getting to a point where they add new top meta decks almost every set, and the sets are so frequent that keeping up was really hard for free to play players. But even worse is the structure decks that you can only buy with money, period. So it's just impossible to be a free to play player and play some decks. Either you had to spend your ultra rare dream tickets, very, very few you got on those cards, or you just couldn't play a certain deck.
Yeah, I think rush duels, depending on how they do it, I think they might be somewhat interesting, but I think they could similarly just be ridiculously moronic.
Yeah.
It
I
might.
think for the anime they would be really interesting.
One thing I appreciate is unlike Speed Duels, they actually have vastly different rules.
Yeah.
Where Speed Duels is just Master Rule 3, less zones, go. But Rush, the whole infinite normal summons,
Yeah. And getting that like.
refresh to 5 every turn, like that's actually makes it just a different game, even if it has some of the same cards.
I hope this version does better. Like have some events for.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
Instead of like side events.
No one cared about Speed Duels because
Well,
you're gonna play.
Some people do. Because,
Back from deck.
there was I learned this from a YouTuber was Yugioh from beta Yugioh, and that rules was weird. You can only summon once. You can special
Back
summon
from
once,
hand on myself.
and
Gozuki effect.
yeah, that's like all. But like that side event just disappeared because it was no support from it.
Yeah.
But how Speedos did got support, people play it because you get
Effect drawing.
some things that are expensive, like the giant cards and stuff. Like if Rush gets similar or like bigger, like events for it, it will take off, I believe.
I know a random tidbit of knowledge here. I know in the original beta of Yu-Gi-Oh, cards had like a weakness system similar to how Pokemon does it. Completely unrelated, but something I just thought was really cool.
Yeah, have them lost memory.
But I think as a whole, if it just stays separate, it would be really good. It's just once it gets to like being its own, if it starts merging a lot like Duel Links did, I don't think it is. If it stays individual like how Speed Duels TCG are, I think Rush Duels would be fine. The only thing I do want is I do want Monarchs in Rush Duels. That's
You just want Monarchs to be playable
I
again.
like Monarchs.
It's fine. You have 3 Erebus now. What are you complaining about?
Can I get 3 Panthesia?
No,
Go to
you
the
don't get full
OCG.
power Monarch. Thank you.
Just go to the OCG. I believe they have like 2 or 3 of that card.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but OCG is a unique creature.
That it definitely is.
But it does like most of y'all. Any last thoughts?
No, I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we can't wait to have more people playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And it just can't be then will when April hits Yu-Gi-Oh! Gonna change for the best and
Give me the bell.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
how all this goes.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye for now.
Instant?